In this video, we're going to be doing competitor research. Now, this competitor research is completely free. I will be showing you in future videos how to do competitor research using paid tools. The benefit of that is it's much faster and it gives us way more information to work with. But if you're just starting out, I really recommend that this is the strategy you use. In fact, I have a friend named Jacqueline who once asked me for SEO help. And she didn't know SEO, she didn't really know how to start, and she was overwhelmed because she had a website for her photography, wedding photography business, but she didn't know what to actually do, and she didn't want to spend any money on tools, which I can understand. So what I'm going to tell you is the same thing that I told her, and it's the same thing that I did for myself before I started getting more fancy SEO tools. So this strategy completely works, but again, this will be free. When you get more serious or you start growing your blogs, you can go over to the paid videos, which are coming up soon. The videos aren't paid, the videos are free for you, but they use paid tools. So let's kind of get our head around what we're actually doing here. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how I can analyze competitors to my actual website, one of my websites, which is a T-blog, and see what ideas for blog posts I can write about. This is really a useful thing to do if you're just starting and you're not sure what you should write about. You're kind of looking in the dark. You can't really see because you don't have paid tools to give you the actual numbers. The thing is, you don't really need paid tools because if you look at the top blogs in your niche, you can see what they're writing about. And you can see, based on what they're writing about, what is the most important topics that you should cover. So on that note, let's go ahead and open up this document here. You have it. It's part of the template. It's the yearly keyword research. Now, this tab right here is actually for paid competitor research. So for now, we're not going to use that. This is the keywords that we downloaded in the previous video. But let's make a new tab and call it competitor blog posts. Okay. And everything we're going to be doing today is funneling stuff right into this section here. Now, the blog that I have is called Shizen, and that's the T blog. And you've already broken your blog into the 3 different categories. So for me, they're Chinese tea, tea accessories, and Japanese tea. For this video, I'm going to be focusing on the Japanese tea section. Like I said before, I really recommend when you do your keyword research to divide it into your different buckets, your different subcategories, and do the same keyword research 3 times from scratch for every single bucket. Treat every section of your website like it's its own individual website. Now, with that said, we're going to come here and we're going to start looking up some competitors. Now, the easiest way to do that is just to go on Google and see what competitors are ranking for keywords that you want to rank for. So, for example, maybe it's matcha. Matcha is a keyword that I want to rank for. And we can see here, there's all kinds of different websites about matcha. You might also know that there's some blogs that blog about your topic, and you know that they're sort of the big fish, right? So if you wanted to do online marketing, maybe one of the websites you would look up is Amy Porterfield. And you'd say, okay, well, let's see Amy Porterfield's website. And you would look through that and get ideas for what you're going to write about. Remember, like I said in previous modules, the information is pretty much going to be the same for any niche. But what makes it different is your approach, your experiences, your stories, your perspective. So you're not copying. There's nothing unethical about looking at the title of an article that your competitor wrote and writing your own version of it. There's nothing bad about that whatsoever. And guess what? When you have a successful blog, you can guarantee that new competitors to you are popping up and going to your website and doing everything that I'm showing you here. They're looking at your blog posts, and some of them are very sophisticated, and they're going to take the blog posts on your site that do the best and then replicate them to try to steal your traffic. All of this is normal. The name of the game is to have the best content that shows your personality. Okay, so with that said, I am going to be analyzing a competitor of mine named Breakaway Matcha. Now, Breakaway Matcha is a luxury matcha brand, and my Shizen website is a luxury tea and matcha brand as well. So this is an article this is a competitor that I really want to see. I want to see the blog post that he's writing, and if I can just see a list of all of his blog posts, then I can have a to-do list of articles that I need to write. It's actually very simple in a way. So what I'm going to do first here is I'm going to copy the name of the domain here, and I'm just going to put it right here. So this is competitor. This is the competitor. So the first one, Breakaway Matcha. And let's go ahead and look at his blog. So if we go to Learn here, we can see there's all kinds of sections. And actually, we can just do this. Okay, so he doesn't do it that way. It's blog / whatever. So he has a section of his blog called Tutorials. He has a section of his blog called Journal. And he has a section of his blog called Masterclass, and etc. Now, basically, all we need to do here is open up all of his blog posts. And we're going to come here and plug them in. It's really that simple. This isn't rocket science. So we'll go ahead and plug all of them in. And I'm going to stop here because you get the idea. Now, when I do this for real, when I'm not under time constraints of someone watching who's going to get bored if I spend hours on this, I will literally go through and put every single blog post that I find on their website into this spreadsheet. So when I first started doing this, the competitors that I was looking up, I would have hundreds of blog posts. You really want to get as much information here as possible. So anyway, now we have blog posts here, and we can find another competitor. So let's look up Matcha blog. Now, it actually turns out that there's a tool called Matcha that's for blogging. So it kind of makes searching for matcha blogs a little bit challenging. But let's hope that this is a blog about matcha, which it may be. All right, I'm just going to make it easy, and I'll pretend that this isn't my website, but this is my website. So again, here's our next competitor. I'm going to plug that in here. And then again, we're just going to take all the articles and, oops, plug them in. Very, very simple. Okay, so now we have the blog posts of our competitors. And this would normally be a very big list, but right now it's only here. The next step, once you have this, is more in the content strategy side of things, and we'll go through that later. But just to get you thinking right now, there's a few things that you can start to think about when you have this list. One, you can start to determine what is important. So, for example, you have to use your brain. It's a little bit of common sense. But if you had to pick out of this list right here of blog posts from Breakaway Matcha, which is the most important and what is the least important, if we're going to rank it for most to least important, this article, Andy Goldsworthy, who's the land artist, this article probably isn't something that many people are searching. They're not searching for matcha and Andy Goldsworthy, right? So this is not important, right? Not important. But is matcha safe to drink daily is probably something that every matcha blog should have. Anyone who writes about matcha should have this. This is probably an important topic that you should contribute to. So we're going to label this as important. Is it safe to drink matcha every day? Matcha and viruses. Okay, that's probably an important article. Does matcha stain teeth? Yes. Does matcha have caffeine? Yes. Matcha regions in Japan? Yes. So you'll notice that I work in my blog, almost every article I write is an important article. So don't steal from me. If you're going to make a blog, please don't make it a matcha blog. But if you do, that's okay too. I'll crush you. Just kidding. Actually, not kidding. But anyway, the point here is you can start to label which articles are important. And then later, when you do your content strategy and you want to determine what blog posts you should write in what order, then all you have to do is say, okay, I'm going to write this blog post will be number 1. I'm going to write this blog post will be my, week 2, I'll write that one. Week 3, I'll write this one. And what will happen is you'll go through this list and you'll highlight the ones that you want to write your versions of, either because you feel like it's important or because it's something that you feel like you're knowledgeable about, or it's something that you find interesting, you want to learn more about. You can just have this massive list of competitor blog posts and one by one go through and write your own versions of it. Now, another thing that I want to show you, and we'll be looking at this competitor, I guess, called Create and Go. They do a YouTube channel and also a blog about blogging, which this is about blogging too. Now, what will happen is when you do this list of competitor blog posts, you're kind of shooting in the dark a little bit. You're just kind of taking everything from their site and picking what you think is important. But what if your competitors would tell you what was most important? Well, they do. Most of the time they do. And I'll show you how to find that out. So most bloggers will recognize what articles are the most important on their website. Most important because they get them the most sales, or because they bring them the most traffic, or are very fundamental to their niche. And what they'll do, most bloggers, is will put these articles in very conspicuous places. They'll put them on their homepage, they'll put them in their menu bar up at the top, and they're basically communicating to you and saying, hey, your name, do you want to be a successful blogger? Then steal my article ideas. Now again, I'm kind of joking when I say steal, but they are telling you what people in your industry care about. And if you know what people in your industry care about, then you can write your own versions of those articles. And that's a really useful way to grow your blog and to lock in your SEO on articles that actually matter. So if we look here at Create and Go, again, this is a guy that, I think it's a couple that does blogging. If we look at the top, we have the different buckets. There's a basic bucket, there's a design bucket, a grow bucket, a make money bucket. So he's subdividing his blog into these different areas. And what you can do is if you go over basic, you can see these are the important articles. What is a blog? Why should you start a blog? What does a blogger do? How much do bloggers make? How much does it cost? Is blogging dead? These are the articles that you need to make your own version about if you want to blog about blogging. Everything, whenever you go on a competitor's website and you see a blog post that is on their homepage or that is in their menu, that competitor is screaming at you at the top of their lungs, make your own version of this. Okay, so if you wanted to be a successful blogger and you don't want to have lots of expensive tools, that's okay. All you need to do is go to your competitors who are very successful and literally just replicate all of their articles that they tell you are the most important. Of course, again, I'm going to say this for the third or fourth time. When I say replicate, I don't mean steal. I don't mean go to their page, highlight everything, and paste it over. I'm talking about taking the same topic and then making your own version of it with your own voice, with your own tips, with your own perspective, with your own experiences, with your own story. You don't want to have carbon copies. You know, when I say competitor, there's a certain negative tone that can be associated with competitor. But with my blog Zerby, which is a Tinder blog, I reach out and email and have phone conversations with people who are in direct competition with me, and we talk and we chat. They're not the enemy. They're not bad guys. They're not bad people. We don't want to hurt them. We're all part of an industry and a niche and a topic that we all care about, and they should be our friends, and we can communicate with them. Of course, we're in a race, and just like any race, there's friendly competition. You want to finish first, and you want to be smart from a business perspective, but we're not trying to hurt these people. They're not bad, okay? So don't use tactics that are slimy. We don't need to go in and steal their copy and their tutorials and their tips and lift from their page. But what we do want to do is see what readers care about. And we can find that out by going to our competitors, and our competitors will make it publicly known what their readers are interested in. Doesn't mean that's exactly what your readers will care about, but most of the time, 9 times out of 10, it is. So, the idea here is find out whatever your niche is, go into your competitors' blogs and look for stuff like this. This stuff is gold. I can see exactly what topics I need to write about if I want to do a blog about blogging. And again, we scroll down, look right here. Right here are 16 posts. If I was going to start a blog about blogging right now, what I would do is literally just go here and write my own versions of these exact 12. There's 3, not 4, 12. That's why I'm a blogger, not a math guy. But I would make my own version of these 12 posts. And what's really cool is my strategy, which we'll get into in the content strategy. I personally like to do 1 blog post a week, and I like to do my research for a quarter. So every quarter, I, at the beginning of the quarter, list out what my 12 blog posts will be, and every week I write 1. So right here, you have your entire quarter planned out, just these 12 blog posts. So go to your competitors, find out what their top 12 most important blog posts are, and then make your own version over a quarter if you want to do weekly blog posts. And again, we can also see, like I said before, at the beginning of this course, the most important thing is dividing your blog into buckets, into subcategories. And they've done that here. Start and building a blog, growing your audience, making money. Those are the 3 categories for this website. So yeah, there you go. That's how I do easy and free competitor research. Just to recap, you can find competitors on Google who use keywords that you're using. You can copy all of their blog posts and then highlight the ones that you feel like you have something to add or that you feel are important. And you can go to your competitors who are the big fish, the really big, strong, scary competitors, and look at what blog posts they have on their homepage or in their search bar at the top, because those are the blog posts that they are telling you you need to make your own version of because they're getting the most traffic. Anyway, that's it for this video. In the next 2 videos, we're going to be going into paid tools. You can skip them for now and come back to them when you grow your blog a little bit and you want to invest into paid tools, or watch them now. And the paid tools that I'm going to be showing you, you can actually get free trials for I think it's a 2-week period for SEMrush, and cancel and get your money back. So there's no cost if you want to just kind of dive in and follow me and do a year's worth of keyword research, which is what we're going to do in the next video. Then you only need to sign up for 2 weeks, cancel, and then you have an entire year of strategy. So really, really useful secret, I guess. Anyway, that's it for now. I'll see you guys in the next video.